Oh, g'day guys. We're just going to preview the Conquering Stakes meeting on Wednesday the 12th of December. 7 race card, rails out 3, a soft 5 at the moment. Weather's pretty good, has been for past week or so. Similar weather forecast tomorrow, so I reckon we'll be closer to a 4 than a 5. So, a bit of par for the course. Rail out 3 tends to be a bit of on-speed stuff, but anyway, obviously we've got the Conquering Stakes, but we'll say apart from that meeting, it's pretty average support card. So actually, might actually kick off with the big race, which is race 5 at 9 o'clock. Obviously impossible to go past on Wesley. Obviously beat the majority of these in the Newmarket, carrying 59. Most of them are on the minimum in that race, carrying 54, so he's almost 5 kilos better than the majority of them if we've given them a beating. Broke the track record in this race last year, so the distance is no real issue. Drawn well, not a great deal of speed in the race, so should be on speed controlling, so deserves his short price and be almost gobsmacked if he gets beaten, to be honest. Couple that went okay in the Newmarket was a Tackler and Blaze 4th. Obviously Tackler's drawn outside gate, going to have to go back to last, so yeah, very tough ask from there. Blaze 4th, awkward draw again. So, and obviously, and they're also meeting Wesley 5 kilos worse off, so Scrutineer was pretty good in the Newmarket. Obviously, jury's out on the Da Vinci's a little bit. So, actually, just looking for a bet in the race. If we have a look at the speed map with Wesley drawn 3 and Count Da Vinci 1, I think Minute Repeater, can't believe I'm tipping Minute Repeater on a wait for age race, but this gate 2, it's going to be behind the right horses in the run, probably sort of 3 back the inside. Yeah, and just I can see them come home very quickly, so horses out wide might be struggling a little bit, might just be in the right place. I think it's about $6 a place at the moment if you just want to have an interest in the race. Always been a tad underrated Minute Repeater, so I think a few coins on him for a drum might be the way to go if you're not into backing the shorties. We'll go back to race 1, which is for the 2-year-olds. A few of them all came through a race in Hobart. Fitzwilliam, GG Punter, Baywatch, Manpower and Maciana. Maciana was actually favourite, slow to begin. We'll say didn't actually savage the line afterwards though. On face value, Fitzwilliam was 3 deep, no cover the entire working on speed, went at least as well as the winner. Clearly looks the one to beat. Actually might actually just queue up the replay of that one. Yep, so carrying the blue colours. And if we just watch the start, you can see he begins very well and then a couple kick up inside and they grab hold. Also drew the outside gate here. So jumped to half length in front and a few kick up inside. So actually I've lost track of the GG's names, but so the one in the middle's in the race here tonight as well. I think it runs 4th here. GG Manpower back on the inside. He doesn't have the best of luck. Probably should have finished a length or so closer. Here's Maciana back on the inside. You can see Fitzwilliam's been 3 deep outside the lead all the way. It's the winner getting through here, GG's Dale. You can see his Manpower just sort of eased off heels, probably finished a length or so closer. Probably a better run than it looked on paper, but you can see Fitzwilliam here. He's beaten the third horse, made a bit of ground, but he'd been 3 deep, no cover, so deserves favouritism. Bet 365 up. What have they got him? $2.50. I think that's fair enough. Obviously, the other one's Mystical Pursuit. First started, did trial and beat an older horse, which is generally a pretty good sign. Did it quite impressively as well. that horse was pretty heavily backed at Devonport last week and was plain. That's the only sort of downside to that form. But yeah, this think Fitzwilliam, and so I thought Manpower is probably one who might take a bit of improvement out of the run. So first up, so they're probably the two that I'm leaning to in the first. In the second, which is over the 1400 for the maidens, probably look to be three major chances here in the form of Cunning Fox, Off the Show, and Digger's Girl. Cunning Fox, not the punter's friend. You can see he's been beaten at short odds last 4 starts. Also, I thought they'd probably been a tad passive on him. Probably expect from good gate, knew it on, probably a bit more aggressive here. Off the Show, resumed, was 4 deep, no cover the entire, and boxed on okay. Better draw here, obviously. Digger's Girl, I've got clear top pick though. She's very good over 1400. Then came back to the 1200, did a lot of work from a bad gate to get on speed and just got knocked off on the line. Beat third clearly. Yeah, I think she's clearly the one to beat. I love it. Hussey wasn't too bad in that same race that day either. And Verdancy's one that I've been following. Hasn't had the best of luck at all in any of its runs, and probably going to be the one charging home if they can run on. But pretty keen Digger's Girl. It replays a little bit superfluous in that. Actually, we might actually go and show the previous 1400 metre run there instead of the 1200. I might actually just grab that. Right, so Digger's Girl. Obviously, we've got the Brunton colours here. And we'll go and have a look at this 1400 metre run in L Week.
260 the
So the thing is, she is here, she was sort of second or third outside the leader early. If we just watch mid-race, just gets shuffled all the way back. Use the sword out wider, sense run okay sense. You can see that from that early position, so it's still sort of being held up here. You know, quite possibly could have been sitting 1-1, sort of 5 lengths in front of where it is, bar for that shuffling back. And obviously 14 just proves the 1400 is no issue either. Again, as I said, and horse here since run well in a mile race, got beaten a nose, but here she is coming through the middle here. Yeah, no, happy to be on her. What price are we? Yeah, 260. I think that's quite backable. Obviously, Verdancy's one I've been following, but 550 is a bit light. Yeah, obviously 450. Yeah, and Off the Show, as you pointed out, was 4 deep, no cover and resuming. But still, yeah, I'd be happy to take $2.60 Digger's Girl. I think we'll probably start low twos. In the third, tough race to sort out this one. A few dropping back in grade, but conversely going up in weight. And look a pretty even lot. We just went through them. Forever Alone's first up in Tasmania. Got pretty decent Northern Rivers form. You know, from Coffs Harbour, Taree. Did trial okay in Hobart as well. Like Bosporus speeded in the trial. Bosporus did go a tad better, but Bosporus went like a jet first up. So, bit of merit in the trial form. Then we've got Katie Cat. Been very good past 2. Only query with her, I do think she's better with the sting out of the ground. Cole's Hero was on at 20 to 1 last time, and dead set thought he was home on the turn. A bit painful. Goodbye Lonesome was watching the replays last week. Was going to be all over him at his next start. Just was looking for 1400 minimum though, so 1200's a bit of a concern. Flick Picks will be the on-speed runner if there's any bias that way. And Orphanali, knew it on, definitely going to be hitting the line. I still come back probably Forever Alone, Katie Cat, and Ken from the Bar did me a favour. They're on speed. Cole's Hero, Goodbye Lonesome, Flick Picks. As I said, there's a number of them. Forced to pick, I do think the Katie Cat Cole's Hero form is probably the best form line through the race. They do go up a bit in weight. Forced to pick one, I'd probably go Katie Cat, even with that slight concern over if the track does get firm, but just struggling a bit with the race. The fourth, another one that I've got no real feel for either. Thanos has been good on speed his past couple. They did walk last time. That's the only real downside. Voices with the Claim gets in okay. Wyuna's always running on. Yeah. Wheels, like there's a number of them you can make a case for here. Gigi's Libet, she's going up a bit in weight, coming down in trip, but had a stable change. And she's been going around in, I think, 64 grade. Yeah, so, and not, being competitive in benchmark 64s back to a 58. You see beating a length, 1.3, 3.2, 3.5, and a length. I just think she's pretty dour. But I think barrier 1, in an even field over the mile. I think she might be the one worth a couple of bucks if you want to have an interest. I said no, races 3 and 4 really struggled with. So race 3, Katie Cat about $6. It's a bit fair enough. What we got in race 4? I'm not sure if the other bookies are up yet, so we'll stick with 365. They all copy anyway, as we know. And Lilybet about 650. As you can see, like there's 8 horses in single figures. Some's to race up. Obviously the Conquering Stakes we've touched on. Race 6. And talking of races that I struggled in, we just run through them. Like, obviously 3 favourites down the bottom. You've got Needs a Queen, Queen's Needs. Resuming, no trial. First up run was on a bog track in Hobart, got beaten a mile. Was also unwanted in betting. Crikey. But 16 into 350, so obviously somebody's half keen. Flourishing Future was actually in that same race and also got beaten a fair way at Sense Trial, well at Longford. With the Claim, gets in with a postage stamp, so probably forced to pick one. I'd go Flourishing Future. Nita Bella was okay on a night when the fence was dynamite. Which my Shadow was heavily back last time and didn't do a lot. Holy Diamond, as you can see, he's drifting, but and the Chisholm Trail was pretty good in debut and was pretty average last time. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Forced to pick one, Flourishing Future, but confidence levels about 0. And in the last, over the 2100, small field, old mate Ollie's a star. I think it's 25 starts between drinks. Just at the weights, does get in quite well. It's been very strong at the end of the mile. Its past couple. Obviously, you can see the 2 kilo Claim gets in with 54.5. And obviously, the big downside, as I pointed out, hasn't won for a long time, but also to take into account there, I think his rating was once about a 67, 68 horse. He's now way down in the weights. You see he's in a benchmark 64, carrying 54.5. Super, whilst he hasn't won, been super honest. And if we have a look at so even the track and distance stats don't look that crash hot. where are we? Track and distance, 5 starts for 1/3. But if you have a look at all of those runs, sort of been beaten no more than about a length to 2.5 lengths in all 5 of those runs. So, you know, whilst it can be a tad misleading sometimes, the track and distance stats. So, with the small field 1-2 only, and he's super honest, like, you know, you get $5.53. Very happy to have something on Ollie's a Star. They're a pretty even lot, which is a bit of a theme for the night. Like Kingsclear, on Speed Chief, like a few of them are very one-paced, so Ladernia Feet. I just think Ollie's might be able to sort of have a bit of turn of foot advantage on a couple of them late, so, and gets a soft draw as well. So, yeah, happy to be on Ollie. So, on a tough night, we'll make the best bet. Don't like making 6-4 pops the best bet, but do like Digger's Girl in the second. At value, I think Ollie's a Star in the last. As I said, 1-2 only. You know, each way price generally. You know, you're getting good place value for the second place. Conquering Wesley, but you know, I think Minute Repeater might sort of run a bit of a race at odds. I'll just about dives that Tackler wins. And just run through the other races. Got Fitzwilliam on top in the first. Do think Manpower might improve. In the third, Katie Cat Cole's Hero. Goodbye Lonesome One, just keep an eye on when he gets back out to a longer trip. The fourth, bit of a spec on Lilybet, first up for the new stable. Hope it might have freshened her up a bit. The sixth, Flourishing Future if you want to have a bet. But anyway, guys, we'll just wrap it up there. So the two that I'm keen on are race 2, number 10, Digger's Girl, and race 7, number 6, Ollie's a Star. So we'll wrap it up there. There's another meeting in Hobart on Friday. Got a bit more depth to the field, so hopefully a bit more value. So until then, we'll leave you with it and chat to you then. Cheers.